Hello, good people. Welcome to the Save Happy Life channel with me, Dr. Rose M. This is the channel where we encourage each other in this journey of parenthood. Today, I want us to talk about our children and inability to achieve, also called failure. And I want us to encourage each other despite and in spite our children's inability to reach to where we would want them to be or where they would want to be, despite of that, we should always support their vision. Today, I allowed myself a down memory lane trip to my puberty years. I had a vision when I was in primary school of going to a leading provincial secondary school in the area where I grew up. But I failed in my first attempt in the CPE in class 7. I had passed though because I got admission to two secondary schools that according to me were not as prestigious and they were lesser schools. I didn't want to go to any. I told my father that I want to do class 7 again. 1 year later, I went to the school of my choice. If I had let my failure to get to the school of my choice prevail, I would not have tried CPE again, and I'm sure I would not have been here. If my parents had insisted that I have two schools, I choose one and I go on. If they had not supported my idea of doing class 7 again, given the performance of those two other secondary schools, then I am sure I would not possibly have made it to where I am today. As parents, it is not easy to watch our children fail to achieve their goals. Be they short-term goals like performance in school, be they long-term goals like getting good, productive careers. The frustrations tend to rub on us. However, because we are older and wiser, we can teach them that failure makes people stronger and more resilient. If only a person knows how to deal with it. If only a person does not let or does not soak themselves in the failure. One fact is that failure is part and parcel of life. Everybody fails, but at times, as parents, we like to use double standard approach. For instance, if my son kicks the ball to my window and it breaks the window pane, I get mad at him. But when I hit a motorist when I'm driving, I call it an accident. If my daughter burns rice when she is cooking or the milk pours under her watch, I unleash a litany of you should have, you should have, you should have. But yet, when I fail in a job interview, because I want to try another job, I say it is okay, they were biased. They didn't even want to take me. They already had a candidate. The reality, however, is that there are so many attempts to score a goal in a game of football or in a game of basketball. Very many attempts go into baking a good cake. Drivers get accidents on the road. All these are bits and pieces of failure. But the most important thing is that failure gives us a chance to think through and learn from our mistakes. Failure is not a blame game sport. our children learn from us. When we fail to get to the office in time, we blame the traffic, we blame the rain, we blame anything else but ourselves. When children fail to get the desired mark in the goal, in class, or the desired goal in a game of football, they blame other things. If it was an exam, they say the questions were tricky, they were not taught that topic, the marking was tricky, all that. Because they have learned from us that instead of owning up to our weaknesses, owning up to our failure, we look for other things or people to blame. The reality, however, should be, let us teach them that blame game does not help. Instead, we accept that it is okay, it is human to fail. And when we fail, it is okay to feel sad about it. And that we should not sit there and degenerate into negative feelings, but rather take it as an experience, as a learning experience, so that next time we do it in a better way. If, for example, a child comes and they say they have failed in this or the other, tell them it is okay to fail. Don't feel bad about it, it is okay, but don't sit there. Ask yourself, how would you do it differently next time? When you ask them that question, they forget about what they have failed in, and it sends the mind in a forward optimistic motion that I have failed here, I am moving forward. We say that success is failure scaled up. I have yet to know of any discovery that has not been preceded by a chain of failed attempts. From Thomas Edison and the light bulb, from KFC and the chickens, from our very own in Kenya, Julius Yego and the javelin, and many others. It is said failure is a lesson on how not to do it next time, thus leading to exploring alternative ways of doing the same, and thus leading to success. Failure is not a destination, but rather a stair step, a springboard, or a stopover to success. Failure is a capacity builder. In life, there are always people who are lesser than us in terms of experience, in terms of knowledge, in terms of know-how. And once we go ahead, when we go ahead of them, they always learn from our own mistakes, and especially when we share our experiences with them. Our failures, this should be communicated to our children, that when we fail, we get teaching tools that to educate or to enlighten other people that this is my experience, thus do not walk along this path because it did not work for me and these were the mistakes I made, so do not repeat the same mistakes. When older children, for those of us who have more than one child, when an older child goes through a failing episode, or an episode where they have tried something and it has failed, they get life experience to share with the younger ones, and this helps them to grow. It builds the capacity of the one who has attempted and failed, because they get wiser, they get stronger, and also now they help to build the other younger one. They share the experience. Most important is that parents, failure is not the person. Failure is not your daughter, is not your son. Your son has their name, his name. your daughter has her name. Same with mine. None of them is called failure. They go by their own names. So if a child brings low grade from school next week, schools in Kenya are closing next week, please let them know that they are more important than the grade, that the grade is not them. Tell them that you are happy with the effort they put. Parents, remember, there are some parents whose children did not even sit for that exam. Out of no mistake of the parent, the child was just not there to do the exam because they had misbehaved and they were sent away from school, or even worse, because they were sick. So tell your child, whatever the grade they come home with, that you are happy that they put the effort and that indeed you love them, whether they win or they lose, they make a mistake or they do not make a mistake. They are yours, they are ours, because we are not giving up on our children. We are not relenting. We are in this journey of parenthood for as long as the universe keeps us together. Thank you very much for listening, and consider subscribing for those who have not. And for those who have, thank you very much for supporting me. We carry on as we support each other in this journey of parenthood. Bye bye.